Today's film is an experiment. I'm going to be creating musical soundscapes of conversations between myself and a plant. Making music from a plant, it sounds quite bizarre, doesn't it? The purpose of this research is rooted in mindfulness. I want to discover more about the exchange of energies when humans and plants are among one another, and I want to express this through music. You see, like us, plants' moods and energies can also change due to their environment. So, today I will be investigating the different biodata produced by the plant when exposed to humans, water, and animals. This will be making changes in the plant's environment, which hopefully means different sounds of music produced by the plant, which we will then listen to. This experiment is going to be done using a device called a Plantwave. Using electrodes connected from this device onto the plant's leaves, I will harvest the energetic waves being produced by the plant in a MIDI form, which I will then input into a music software and allocate an instrument to the biodata. This process is to show energy exchange as a form of communication in a way that us humans will understand best: music. Meeting the plant halfway with this style of translation is the start of the story from the plants. So when the plant is connected to the Plantwave, Plantwave actually does create its own version of music using the biodata. So what it does, it collects some of the MIDI information and it takes the most complementary keys from the biodata and turns it into a very beautiful piece, which we will listen to right now. And as you can see, it sounds very, very pretty, but this is how the Plantwave actually sounds with the MIDI, which is what we are finding more important because it's the true energy exchange. Which we can hear right now. And as you can see, it's very much all over the place. It's quite chaotic. I always say it's quite monstrous. So that's how the MIDI sounds, and then this is how the Plantwave sounds. And you can see there's a huge difference between them. It's like putting a filter on the plant's communication when using the Plantwave. So the first experiment we're going to start with is, now that we have listened to how the plant sounds on its own, we're going to introduce some friends to the plants. So I'll start recording how the plant sounds right now. And then I'll introduce this spider plant, which is a mom, and it's many babies, which is in dire need of cutting the umbilical cord. I feel like such a bad plant mom. So we'll listen to how the plant reacts to it. So the plant has gone from high and a little bit low to all the way low, and now it's gone a little bit high, like very tiny ones, but it's mostly like loads and loads of different notes of being low.
So I wonder what it means when it's low and then randomly suddenly high. It's so fascinating how the plant reacted so quickly to a friend joining its little environment, because where I've done tests at home before, it does take a good 1 or 2 minutes for the plant to kind of get a little juice, a bit of MIDI reaction going. So we know how it sounds with the mum. I want to now bring in a little baby that I have recently planted. Oh wow, it's gone incredibly high, like drastically changed. And now incredibly low. So it's just gone from one extreme to the other. Okay, here is a little tomato plant, and we'll place it right here, I think. It's completely high now. It's completely lost the base. It's playing like quite an erratic song now. It just goes to show that when there's more plants around it, the energy levels really pick up. Oh, it sounds so pretty now. Does this mean the plant is happy, like with more friends? Is it like more comfortable? Oh, it's so pretty. I kind of don't want to take the plants away from it now. I'm sorry. It's for the... Whoa, it just instantly went crazy since I picked up the tomatoes. It's gone from being like a melody to just erratic. What does this mean? We don't know, but we'll move on to the next experiment now. So the next experiment, we're going to introduce a little hamster to my plants, and we're going to see how she reacts. So the hamster is called Ricey, and here she is. So right now, the the musical notes are quite far away from each other. They're not too close. And as Ricey approaches the Plantwave, we're expecting the plant to react differently. Yeah, so straight away, the notes are becoming more closer together. How's she doing? She all right? It's okay. So the sound is becoming a little bit more calm, a little bit more melody-like. I reckon because the plant's getting used to Ricey. Or that Ricey is hiding from the plant. Is she hidden? Should we give her a little treat? So the notes, when Ricey approached the plant again, went very low, and it's only just started to go higher when Ricey went into her little hut again. Okay, suddenly the Plantwave has picked up and the notes are becoming a lot more busy. Oh, Brycey. Can we let her onto the plant at all? I'm okay with that. Surprisingly, the plant has become quite relaxed with the Plantwave. And more instruments have started to peek out since Ricey has sat on the plant. Oh, the plant reacted to that. You know, I've done a lot of experimenting, and this was the one I thought the plant would be the most busiest with, but it seems the most relaxed with little Ricey. Ooh, that sounded so pretty. Do you want to listen? It's the wrong ear, but hopefully you can hear it. This is what Ricey created.
It's really like calm.
Yeah,
I feel like
calm. It's interesting how the door closed and then we got these new instruments come in. Here, these little dots. They weren't here before Ricey went into her cage.
I think they're quite happy Ricey come back.
Yeah, it's quite confusing.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Like Ricey and the plant?
I don't know how plant will feel like Ricey around it,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure when Ricey almost fell down from the pot on the ground, and I'm sure that the plant was laughing at her.
Laughing?
Yeah.
It found it funny.
Yeah.
That's
Must
so
be.
mean. Look here, now we're laughing. The plant has just gone really sad. Thank you, Ricey. What's Ricey going to do now? Is she going to go
Chew up things.
Thank you for coming. So the next experiment we're going to do is we're actually going to finally water my poor dear plants. So this is a plant that I bought in the supermarket, and I bought her about 8 years ago, and she's grown tall and she's died, which you can see slightly here, and also here. Don't really need that now. And I'm really trying to come back together with my plant, especially the more that I become connected through Plantwave and understanding that my plant is conscious. It's really making me connect more to like what is actually going on around me, especially with understanding that the poor biodata and the waves are drastically changing all the time. So I actually left this plant outside, and a weed has started to grow, which is the plant that we're actually harvesting the data from. So I have unfortunately barely watered the plant, but today we're going to water it. So right now what we're listening to is how the plant sounds very dehydrated, and that is my own fault. But I think we all have plants that we have unfortunately neglected, and it is what it is. So what we're listening to right now is very random bits of musical notes. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. It's just a whole big clunk of notes. But now it's starting to go low and building its way up higher. And I reckon maybe that's because the water is being absorbed and it's no longer dying. So now that it's got more water in its system, I've noticed that the notes are becoming a lot more closer together. Beforehand they were more like dun, dun, dun. Whereas now that we've watered it, it's more like dun, 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 dun. So when I was watering the plant and when it was absorbing the water, the notes were just like chaotic. Like sometimes they were really long, sometimes they were really short, and then it was up and down. Like it was just not one kind of set rhythm. Whereas now I feel that the water is being absorbed and the plant's really like, thank you God for the water, that it's just coming back to life again. And we can hear it right now because the notes are becoming more complementary and playing with its neighbours rather than like up, down. It's more like the notes are sticking together. Whereas now they are going a bit more mixed, but it doesn't sound like as in pain in the fact where it's like sharp. It's more like long and mellow and just kind of vibing. I don't know how to describe it. It sounds like a horror film, but it also sounds like a really sad song. You know, like, is it scary? Is it sad? I can't make up my mind. So I told the camera crew to turn off the cameras so we could cut to the next experiment, but I feel like the vibe of myself is just like in my feelings. I just really put into perspective just how much this poor little plant that I neglected for so long, and maybe even if I didn't neglect the plant, it would still react the way it did, how much influence the surrounding environments have. Because we just watched this entire film where the plant was, no two notes were the same. They just instantly kept changing. Like it was just crazy how varied the notes were for every single change in its environment. And it makes you think like that's possibly what's also going on with us, you know, in ourselves. So why am I feeling so sad about this? Like, am I feeling sad or am I just processing like what's actually happening? But actually watching it on the MIDI from my plant, my child, I guess, it's really put me in a place of feeling and processing that, damn, like so much is happening in the unconscious or in the conscious. And maybe the reason why it's hitting me so much is that, yeah, all these things are going on, but I'm not really sat here and I'm not doing this experiment all the time. I'm in my modern life. I'm constantly busy. I'm going over here. I'm doing this. This is on my mind. I've got to get this off my to-do list. Whereas now sitting here and letting myself feel these feelings, feel the energy, it's just kind of hit me harder because, yeah, it's always there, but like, are we actually understanding? So the whole reason why I wanted to call this experiment documentary a story from the plants is because it is a story and we're going through the chapters and the seasons of learning more about it. You know, learning more about this story is so fascinating, and I wonder where it will take me and other people next. I'm definitely hoping it starts a legacy. Do I think I'll be in touch with other plants? Yes. Because although I've neglected this plant and I've been doing so much experimenting on it, I think it's created an awareness for me that I don't want to say I didn't have before, but like I didn't have the amount of compassion and understanding, like actual practice of understanding. Because there's one thing to be like, this is affecting my plant, but then to actually see and then to actually hear it. And you don't just see and hear music, you feel it, and you carry that emotion on with you. So I think if I was to listen to other plants, I would still have the same reaction, because the way I feel right now is literally like how a mother would feel with their child. You know, like how you would feel with something vulnerable, like a pet or an animal. Like you just want to look after it and make sure it's okay. And I think I feel so deep, maybe because I've had this plant with me for 8 years and I've only just started to get to know it. I've only just started to communicate with it in a different context through energy exchange. I'm really glad that I done this experiment where I changed the conversation into a MIDI digital musical way, because the translation allowed me to feel so differently. And we'll see where it goes from here, I guess. Cut.